Hey, folks, my guest today is Dan Mockroff. He spent most of his career in product management roles in companies like Google, BCG Ventures, and Rocket Internet. Now, together with two ex-colleagues, he co-founded a B2B SaaS startup building a new kind of dev tool that helps software development teams report and fix technical issues 30% faster. It's called birdeatsbug.com. Dan, you ready to take us to the top?
Yes, absolutely.
So when did you guys start writing the first line of code for this tool?
About 2 years ago, like in summer, we had the idea and the first line of code was written. And I think 2 months later, we already launched the MVP, so like the minimum viable product on Product Hunt, and we got to number 5 product of the day. And that basically kickstarted the company.
And this was in 2019.
Correct.
Okay. And tell me more about the Product Hunt launch. Why do you think it did so well? Were you guys intentional with that launch, or do you just sort of get lucky?
I think it's a combination of both. I think there's like a big element of luck when it comes to Product Hunt launches. But we tested the waters, like we did some preliminary, let's say, launches for like smaller products, useful for the community, just to get a feel for Product Hunt in general. But I think the main advantage for us is that like usually, for example, we heard that the audience on Product Hunt doesn't have very good retention. And I think that the reason for this is that you have a lot of repetitive products, like a lot of website builders, for example. And in our case, like we were very unique. And I think also the name helped and like the whole branding. And like we see a lot of the people who tried Bird on the first day, like on the launch day, still with us today. So that's very interesting to see.
You got 361 upvotes on that day. This was back September 23rd, 2019. Do you remember
Yeah.
what your web traffic looked like? Like how many leads did you get from Product Hunt? Do you remember?
um like we didn't have signups at that stage. I can share the how many Chrome extension installs we had, and that was about 500-600 installs, and I think about like 7 to 100,000 bugs reported on that day. And like it was like a massive peak, then it of course went down, and it took us probably like a year to get like consistently to that level of usage.
Where are you now in September? How many bugs reported on your platform? I assume that's your critical usage metric, right?
Correct. Like we have about 1,600 bugs a week. That would be like what, 6,000 a month roughly. And
Okay.
we're growing like in the last quarter, we were growing 20% month over month.
And
And what's
how
more
do
important,
number of bugs reported correlate back to revenue? Is that how you price?
um, sort of. So like we have a generous free tier, but then once you run out of free tiers, so like on a free tier, you can store up to 30 bugs. You can access up to 30 bugs, and then you need to upgrade. But then once you upgrade, we don't have like a specific tiering. So like we just have one plan for simplicity. And the correlation is pretty direct, although there's like a time lag because it takes you a while to like go through your freemium plan and then upgrade.
How long does it take obviously you track onboarding. So if I sign up today, how
Yeah.
long will it usually take for someone to hit that 30 bug limit?
It really depends. On average, it's 2 to 3 months that we see a company, but that was before our pricing change. That was like 50 bucks per person we were giving, and now we're giving like 30 bucks per company, partly to reduce that amount. And I think that's going to be like within a month, like most companies will hit that.
I see. Okay, so how many paying customers do you have today?
We have about 6%, and that's like the target. Like it's kind of an interesting story. So we took Dropbox as an example, and because they have like a free tier as well, and they have a lot of word of mouth. And in our
Yep.
case, we have 40% of signups coming through word of mouth, which is like crazy.
Mhm.
And we decided not to make the free plan too restrictive to keep the word of mouth going on. But also, like we want to know that we're, spending time on something worthwhile that companies are willing to pay for. And I think Dropbox is at about 4%, and then we're like targeting roughly that amount to stay happy.
And so Dan, when you say 6%, 6% of what?
6% of all of the signups are now in paid tiers.
I see. So how many total signups do you have you had then?
We had about 10,000 signups to
Okay, got it.
date.
So you've got about 600 paying customers right now.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, cool. So tell me more about that. Obviously, Product Hunt, which is an initial strategy to get a bunch of these signups. What else did you do in the early days to get your first sort of 10,000 signups?
Um, Like once we launched on Product Hunt, most of it was like SEO and direct traffic, and like we listed on a few platforms like Capterra, for example, or GetApp.
Yeah.
And at the moment, we're like essentially trying like every single channel that we can get our hands on. In terms of the most successful, like in terms of signups, I would say it was Google Ads. And we're like advertising, for general screen recording, I guess, categories.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, it's interesting, like because you have Capterra and GetApp and software advice, and that's like one umbrella. But like we get more leads via GetApp, although like we were originally kind of like betting on Capterra.
Mm-hmm.
And what also worked for us is newsletters. I can recommend that. I was not expecting this, and also we have an onboarding video, and we just tried to like put it on YouTube and see how it would perform, and like that performed surprisingly well. So like even for an ad, like 75% watch time we're getting. Like on average, watch time is 75%.
So looking just at your paid spend, I mean, what are you paying to get a paid customer these days?
I believe it's going to be like under 10 euros. Oh, per paid customer, that I don't know from the top of my head. From the signups, I think we're paying like less than 10 euros per sort of signup. And then I guess you can convert that. So like what about like
15
700 maybe?
signups. Yeah. Yeah. So it takes you 15 times $12, right? 10 euros to $12. So 15 signups for one paid times $12. It's about 180 bucks per paid sign up, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. And let's talk about GitApp. Everyone always asks me, Nathan, should I go on G2 first or Capterra? GitApp, I would say, is like an underdog in this category, but it's performing well for you. You rank number 5 under the
Yeah.
category bug tracking. So you rank fairly high with 29 reviews, 4.7. Do you pay for placement here, or is this all organic?
So I think on GetUp, like you have to pay like if you want to track clicks. So like we're paying in some regions. I think mostly like the US and like Europe and North America. I don't know how much like the cost per click. I'm not that sure about. Like the thing with GetUp is that like you have high purchase intent, so that's great. And like if you have a good retention customer lifetime value, I think that's also great. I think the challenge that we find with GetUp is that we are essentially creating our own category. So like we're not something that's existed before, and like we're not technically bug tracking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like people are like looking for adjacent things, and then they find bird. So it's not always easy to kind of like tell the person that it's not exactly bug tracking, for example.
Yeah.
But GetApp I think works for us more because GetApp seems to have like more technical audience versus Capterra, or like more like developers looking for tools there.
How many
And I
leads
believe
do you get from GitApp per month right now?
that's a good question. That's
Or a
I don't
range?
I can tell it's like in the tens, but we're not, spending too much money. So, like because the cost per sign up is quite high, like for us at least, we pay for the presence. I think like we, in general, on GetUp Capterra, like we're spending under like $800 a month.
To list on all of them?
Say again?
To list on Capterra, like all of them, you
Yeah,
pay them
yeah,
all
yeah,
together
yeah,
under
yeah,
800.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So let's go back to like again how you're currently building. So bug tracking tool, over 10,000 free signups, which is great. You're converting 6%, which is high for freemium tools. So congratulations on that. What are they paying on average per month?
It really depends on the on the size. So sometimes like we have like a single bug reporter, for example, and they're paying like 8 bucks. Like sometimes it goes over like 200 a month, like for slightly bigger companies. And the interesting thing that we found is that like a few bigger companies reached out to us, like with thousands of people, and we couldn't cater to them because all of them wanted things like single sign-on, for example, self-hosted solution, and also SOC 2 and ISO 27001 certifications. And we will get those for sure, but like they take months to get, and like their purchasing departments are like really ruthless about these certifications.
So how many seats on average are these 600 customers paying for? It sounds like a 5-person team might be average, something like that.
Yeah, I would say like 5 to 10 people, and but it goes like from 1 to like 100 easily. So there's like high fluctuation.
Yeah, yeah. But so if I have to know how many paid seats are on your platform across the 600 customers, it'd be something like 3,000, 4,000.
Yeah, yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Right?
From 600. no, like 600 like paying customers would be like 600 seats essentially.
How many logos? Yeah. Okay. Got it. So how many just companies?
Yeah, that would be about 60.
Okay. Got it. 16. Okay. Oh, well, those are huge
Like
teams. Because then when
60
you,
as in like 6 0. So
yeah.
like
So those are average 10-person teams.
exactly.
I see. Okay. So 600 pay seats times like a minimum of $8 per seat. You guys are doing about $4,800 a month right now in revenue.
Yeah.
Okay. And where were you, if that's what you're doing today, what were you doing about a year ago? Do you remember?
We were pretty much zero. Like
Pre pre
we just
revenue.
launched payments, and like if I remember correctly, that would be, I don't know, like maybe $200.
Yep. Okay, interesting. So how do you and have you guys bootstrapped this or did you raise?
We bootstrapped our first year, and then we raised 1.5 million seed.
That was last year you raised 1.5?
That was end of last year. Yes.
Okay, interesting. Why raise capital? Why do you need capital to build this?
Um, it's technically difficult to build. So something like what we're building today was not possible, like even let's say 5 or 6 years ago, because of the state of the browsers and like the technical limitations. So that's one thing. It just requires like more manpower and also like more good developers, which is not cheap to get. And secondly, I believe it's going to be like the right strategy would be a combination of bottoms up, like what we have right now, and also top down approaches. So like we would need to have like sales in order to cater to bigger organizations, which is, I guess, the more interesting market for a company like ours.
Okay, that makes sense. And tell me more about the team today. How many people?
We have 11 full-time employees and like a couple of freelancers.
How many of those folks are exclusively engineering?
5.
Okay. Okay. And are you sole founder? Are you the technical engineer? Technical founder?
I'm not technical. We have 3 co-founders, and I'm one of the co-founders. I'm coming from like product management space, but I'm not. I'm maybe more technical than, let's say, an average person, but definitely not engineer level technical.
3 people, obviously the tough conversation when you get going to decide how to split equity. How'd you guys have that tough conversation? Or you just split it a third, a third, a third?
Exactly. Like we have exactly the same stake, and like we have the regular kind of like cliff and so on. So I think that conversation was like pretty easy. Like also because
Regular cliff, you mean 1 year cliff, 4 year vesting?
1 year cliff for the vesting and like 4 year vesting period.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, and not just me, that it gets really tough like if the split is not equal, because then it's kind of like who's putting in like more hours or like more nerves, and so on, and that's like not a very stable, I believe, combination like long term.
So you
Like
guys
especially
obviously are.
like
Yep.
if like if especially if you're starting at the same time and not like somebody's joining later and so on.
Yeah. All kinds of reasons though. Someone could have put in money. Someone could have been giving up a bigger
Yeah.
job to join. All kinds of reasons. But anyway, so you guys are split at a third. Obviously, you let in investors. Now, I assume you raised that 1.5 on a safe, right?
No, that was like a regular.
What was priced? What valuation did you raise at?
Like we gave about like 25% equity, so like about 6 million.
Okay, 6 million post money.
Yes.
Was that fair? Do you think that was high or low looking back?
Um, Maybe. I think the interesting part was that we were raising in the middle of the first wave of COVID, where it was really unclear what's going to happen, and how the investments are going to go. So like we see that, like for example, if we were raising right now, like we could have maybe gotten better terms, but we're happy in general, and I think that's. I think at that stage, it's more important to get the capital to get going in the first place than to, squeeze every penny out of it. And we kind of like, let's say, reap the benefits today, because now we can show like a lot more progress, and like the next fundraise looks a lot easier than the first one.
Dan, how much of the 1.5 million do you guys still have in the bank?
More than a half.
More than half.
We
Okay.
still have, yeah, like we still have like a comfortable, 11 runs of runway.
Yep. Okay, so can I translate that to saying if I can take $750,000 divided by 11, you guys are net burn about $70,000 per month?
Yes, somewhere around that.
Does that make you nervous at all?
No, I think we're going to fundraise. Like if things go as they're going right now, we should be able to fundraise early, like way earlier than we run out of money.
How much revenue do you want to hit before you go out and do your next fundraise?
Um, That's a good question. I think we're not this round like for the revenue game. Like we're mostly like looking at the usage numbers and like at the growth and like if we can hit consistent growth. And I think we're on the path to do this. And that's going to mostly depend on like if we find good advertising channels, and B, if we're able to build a solid product. And there are a couple of like big things that we're working on. Like for example. At the moment, we're working on something called instant replay. So, for example, right now you need to record, like you need to reproduce your steps to report a bug, and you will be able to go back in time instead of reproducing and then just export the last, let's say, minute of your actions with technical logs, so that the engineer can know like 100% of the time like what actually happened, and that's like basically a game changer that can. I don't want to say the word revolutionize, but that can really change the way that software development teams operate. And I think that's our biggest, like one of our biggest bets. And like we
Once
still have.
people are on, are they hooked? What's your churn look like over the past 12 months?
We have about 30% of people staying in week 10. And that really depends on the role, like because
So Dan, just to be clear, when everyone signs up, if you go fast forward to week 10, 30% of them are still there or 30% have churned?
Are still 30% are still there, are still reporting at least one bug a week. So like we
are they all paying though, or is that just free user churn?
Yeah, that's free user churn. Like
what about
for
paid
customers, that's I cannot give you the specific numbers, but that's like we have like 1%, 1 or 2% churn, like month over month max.
Okay, got it. Do you have any expansion revenue yet, or is just 24% churn?
Yes, we changed the pricing plans recently. So like before we were charging packages, and there you barely get expansion because like if you have a 7-person company, like if you add another person, we will not see this because you have a package, let's say, of 10 people. So we only have like 1 month of data for the expansion. But even before, like we were seeing like expansion of like, if I remember correctly, about like 5%. But now it's more because we can measure it more granular.
So what's 5% per year expansion?
Yes.
Okay, got it. So net revenue retention is still below 100%, but you're working on getting that above.
Yes. As in we don't have really full year worth of data like to say.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you mean the product launch was back in 2019 though. You had a big swell there. I mean, what I would worry about is like you had 100,000 bugs reported. That what?
In 2019 we didn't have any paid plans.
No, I understand that. What I was going to say though is if you're only looking at usage numbers, Product Hunt on that day you had 100,000 bugs reported. Today, weekly, you're only reporting 6,400.
Oh, so, no, not 100,000, like 1,000 bugs on that week.
Okay, got it.
That would have been the best launch in history.
Well, that's why I was a little confused. Got it. So you said 700 to 1,000 bugs reported that day.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, cool. Now it's 6,400 per week. Very cool. All right, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
I forgot the name. It was about the communication.
We'll skip it for now, Dan.
Number 2. I can give you the second famous. It's Good to Great.
Okay, good. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
No.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building Bird Eats Bug?
Linear.
A Linear?
Yes, it's like a Jira competitor.
Oh, okay. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
8.
And what's your situation, Dan? Married, single, kids?
Married, no kids.
Okay, and how old are you?
32.
Last question. What's something you wish you knew back when you were 20?
It's hard, but it's fun.
Guys, there you have it. They got going in 2019 with a Product Hunt launch, Bird Eats Bug, making it easy for your dev teams to squash bugs faster. They've got 600 paid seats on the platform at an average of $8 a seat for $4,800 a month in MRR. That's up from 200 just a year ago, $200. So a lot of growth, still early. They raised 1.5 million seed to invest in MVP and growth at a 6 million post-money valuation. So they still own, as founders, about 75% of the business. Investors own 25%. Looking to scale here quickly on a per seat basis with 11 months of runway left in the bank. We'll see what happens next. Dan, thanks for taking taking us to the top.
Sure.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.